on the MIDI real quick. And music theory is very important. I'm gonna get into that in a second. But before we get into the theory, look at how everything's playing at a different velocity, number one. And number two, everything's strummed and not fully on grid. Like this is off diamond by a few milliseconds. It's off. This chord is off. Like look how they end. Even the end time is off, right? If you know how to play an instrument, or you're just learning to play a piano, or you actually know how to play a piano like crazy, right? Play your stuff in, bro. Like that's you can't beat actually raw like playing stuff in. Like you just can't beat it. I don't know what else to tell you. If you're bound to the MIDI, I can give you some tips on how to make your MIDIs sound more live, more real. Have some real motion, real movement, and rhythm to them, right? So step one, you're gonna want to highlight all of them. Option S on Mac. Option S on Mac. Option S on Mac, or on Windows, I think it's Alt S. I think I'm on Mac, so but you're gonna pull up this strumizer, right? For Ableton, I use Ableton sometimes too. I forgot what it is, but it's something different too if you use Ableton or anything else. I'm sure you have a tool similar to this where you can play with the timing. You see it shifting a little bit. There's only one shifting, but that's because these are already off time, so they're not gonna shift as they would if I had the chords regularly laid out, right? But you can see this one and that one on the bottom shift a little bit, right? So you can also play with the velocity too and the tension. The tension piece, I think what it does is it also alters the timing of the chords and the velocity of the chords. I think that's what it does, but it's supposed to help either add more tension as the chords progress over, or how the chords are playing and how they progress over to the next chords. It adds more tension to that, or either you can take some away, right? Either way, play with the knobs, tweak them, and get a real authentic sound from that as best as possible. Even go in here manually and just like shift velocities around, shift keys around, because what it's going to allow you to get is something that feels like it's, you know what I'm saying, like somebody actually playing their little soul out on the keys, right? Like you want it to feel real, you feel me? So if I had it on grid perfectly, and then even look at this, like look at the gaps right here, like the rhythm, how it's getting played, like the voicing of the chords, the voicing of the progression of the chords, and what chords you use matter. Again, I'm not gonna go that deep into music theory, but look into 7th chords, 9th chords, and 13ths, and play around, flirt with like chord suspensions, right? I think this is an add 9, but it's suspended, I think. Yeah, I'm not gonna get in. I'm still learning music theory, bro. Don't get on me if I was wrong, but like I'm still learning. But what I do know is when these two notes are played together, it adds real tension. It adds this like dissonant type of sound to the chord in its entirety, right? To where we're stacking those chords, and you see how close they're playing and their voice close together. It makes it more emotionally felt. Like it just, I don't know how to really explain the chord functions. You gotta study, bro. You gotta love this music stuff so much you study, bro. I know people hate theory, but study, bro. I'm telling you. Because when you get here, you see how it's more open. These two are all tight. This one's more open voicing. And it adds to like the tension being released. And it carries the emotion to the next set of chords over here, right? Yeah, that's important, bro. I'm trying to tell you it's important. But back to what I was saying. If I had everything on grid, perfectly playing, yeah, I can barely even do it. There we go. If I had everything on time, man, this would sound like boring, bro. It's boring. I'm sorry, it's boring. We don't want that. Okay, so the other thing that you should keep in mind is exactly what chords you're playing. I'm new to music theory. I'm still learning, still trying to figure it out. But one thing I can say that is important is understanding chord functions and voicing. So let me show you what I mean. Let me take away this note and this note, and we only have a triad. And you're gonna hear the difference. Actually, let me do it right here too. Let me do it right here. Let me take away this middle note, and we just have a basic level triad, right? It's cool. You know what I mean? It's cool. But let me add layers back. Or the other notes back. It just, again, that voicing is just different when you have those additional chords. So if you're making these type of samples, the melodic, R&B, soulful type of samples, learn seventh chords, learn your ninth chords, and even 13th. You need to understand what those are. If you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, do your research, man. Okay, so voicing and music theory aside, um, you of course, like I said, you do have to make sure you have your bass notes in there. You're playing your seven chords, nine chords, all that stuff. And all that aside, the voicing and the motion of everything, you see this gap right here. This plays ahead of time. Then you see that the length of this chord is longer than this one, right? Then this one. Then this one, right? There's different gaps between when the next chords play. And there's also gaps at times for the next chord that she plays, right? So what that does is add bounce to your chords. Like, try to actually have rhythm in how your chords are being played and real motion, because when you do that, it adds to the emotion of the sample, bro. Like, it's important. So let's talk about the piano. Wow, it's the same chords. Wow. Yes, we layer over here. That's the secret sauce, bro. That's all these people really do. Your top favorite producers, they don't reinvent the wheel. A lot of times they layer. They take out the chords that was playing here. Maybe they move this off time in a different way here. Maybe they add some top notes for variation. But essentially, it's usually the same chords. So, and they're strummed the same way. I think I made a variation somewhere, but for the most part, it's the same way. And this chord doesn't play. Right? So, another piece of advice is that space is your best friend. And to counteract all that motion, all that going on with the first sound here, if you go here, like, that's a lot going on. And it's cool to build around, but you need something with a little bit more structure. And that's where this sound comes in. It's just regular chords, nothing too crazy, good lo-fi piano, or you can go with an electric piano for these type of sounds, or a regular one, right? And together, you just get better balance. It just fits better when you do that, to where I can have like more of an idea of how I want the drums and the bass to play out, and how I want everything else to be laid out. All right. So that's that. Let's get into let me see. Boom, 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 boom. Let's get into the other sounds that I have here. Okay. So we have this bass line, right? Okay. A little space there. Little bounce right there. You know what I'm saying? Little real rhythm, real motion to the bass line, right? Gotta have it. So let me go to that. This is the original sound. Even this isn't playing it exactly on time and at the exact same velocity. Little bounce right there, right? That is important. The bass line trash if it ain't got no rhythm to it, especially with these type of samples. If you don't have the bass line dancing, what are you doing? If it's playing exactly the chords, it's just not like, see if matter of fact, let me show y'all, man. Let me take this out and just have it playing all the way through. Like, it's cool, and I probably shouldn't even have moved that. Like, it's cool, but like, it's not the same. I kind of almost, now I'm looking back at this beat, I kind of wish I would have danced with this bass line a little bit more, but it's cool. Again, if we talk about sound selection, when you hear this bass, it doesn't feel like it's too synthy, but it does definitely feel kind of warm and like it's playing like I'm actually playing a little bit of a bass guitar, just a little bit, right? I know it doesn't have the same vibe as a bass guitar all the way, right? It's still definitely a synth, right? It's still definitely a synth, but it just sounds like it fits, don't it? You know what I'm saying? It just fits. So we got that. All right. And for processing, I think I probably put a FET rack on it. Little decapitator on there. Just to play around with the tone, add a little bit of saturation, distortion to it, right? You know what I'm saying? Warm it up a little bit. That's important. You can see the EQ on the bottom. Usually I don't do this with my basses. I usually don't cut the low end that heavy, but for this one I did. And that's pretty much it. That's how you put together a good vintage R&B-ish sample right there. And I'm gonna play the full beat as the outro, man. Again, I thank y'all for sticking around. Hope y'all learned something. Let me know in the comment section, man, what y'all learned or what y'all wanted me to cover a little bit more of. And yeah, y'all boys stay tuned, man. Y'all stay tuned.